Alright, are we a go? Good. Hey everyone, welcome to today's show. The name is Zachary Gedzinski and I am your host for today's video. And yes, if you've checked the thumbnail or pretty much the title on either YouTube, BitChute, Rumble, or Odyssey, yeah, I'm talking about like Facebook having some sexual abuse images, child sexual abuse images on Facebook on their site. 20 million child abuse images found on Facebook in 2020, says a report. Here's a video that probably covers what I'm about to read, but I don't want to play the video due to copyright laws, stuff like that, and I don't feel like pausing and restarting the video as I play it. But hey, I'm actually gonna read this with the face cam this time, so yeah. This is by Alyssa Salami from the National Desk. Alright, let's get started. Washington SBG. Facebook had more than 20 million child sexual abuse images on its platform in 2020, according to a report by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. You know, like, it doesn't surprise me. I've heard, like, sometime in the, like, somewhere in the past that Twitter has the same issue, and Twitter and Facebook are the biggest social media platforms out there, so yeah, this does not come as a surprise to me, and yet they try to get rid of platforms such as Parler, Gab, and Minds, while they're growing competitors for Facebook and Twitter. They don't have as much dirt on them as Facebook and Twitter do. You don't want to talk to your kids about sexual exploitation. You don't want to talk to the kids about sex or pornography. Well, unfortunately, that is becoming a common problem, because if you send your kid to a public school, they're probably getting introduced to porn as soon as they enter the classroom, because some woke activist teacher wants to teach your child about sexual orientation and gender identity bullcrap. That, to me, is pornographic in its own right, because it damages the mind of these children to be indoctrinated with woke propaganda. Alright, let's see. It said Rashawn Lewis, a father of 5. Lewis says he has already talked to his kids about pornography, fearing exploitative images of children may pop up on their feeds. Yeah, like, if you're a parent, I would be wary of having your kids have a social media account at all. Like, I didn't start having a Facebook account until I was pretty much going out of high school, but that was because I didn't believe in social media. But now I hate using Facebook anyway, because they try to censor you like crazy. But you can find me on Parler and Gab. Heck, I even got this article that I'm reading to you now from Gab, so go check it out. To be sexually abused and then for it to be put on camera and for millions of strangers to watch it for enjoyment, that's sick, said Lewis. Yeah, it is. Like there are a bunch of warped weirdos out there, and like, I'm not a father yet, but I would literally beat up anyone that would dare to harm my children if I had any kids at all. Because kids are a gift from God. You don't want them to be abused and brainwashed into this woke mentality, which is abuse in its own right. Yet I've said before, the public education system combined with social media, it's nothing but a porn fest for these people. Heck, you even have incidences at these schools where teachers abuse boys and girls for their own sexual fetishes. It's that revolting. In 2020, 1,400 companies reported over 21 million incidents related to child pornography. Google had over 546,000 incidents. Wait, that's a typo. Either that's 546,000 incidents, or that should be 54,600 incidents. I really hate typos like this. But enough. I'm not going to be ranting about grammar. I'm ranting about how this is allowed to exist. TikTok over 22,000. Of course, it's usually with TikTok. It's usually kids victimizing other kids because of all this nonsense. But I digress. We are talking about crime scene photos, said NCMEC's Lauren Coffrin. We're talking about the sexual abuse of the child that unfortunately has been memorialized. Yeah, that is sad. And that's the thing. It's not just kids this happens to. I'm pretty sure it happens to adults too. Men, women. It's really disgusting. An advice to you parents: do not plop your kids in front of social media. I know you're probably going to be busy and you probably want to be hands off when raising your children, but unfortunately that's how they get addicted to pornography, is if you're not watching what they do when they go online. Best way to combat that is to basically block these social media sites, prevent the kids from going on them in the first place, or limiting social media until they're legally an adult. Oh yeah, and if your kids start spouting some weird gender identity politics and stuff like that, they've probably been exposed to porn already. So best advice is either take control of what your kids are learning. Yeah, that's probably the best thing to do. Or just don't send them to a public school at all. I know with schools not being reopened across the country, people want their kids educated. A word of advice: send them to a charter school, private school, or a Christian school, or flat out homeschool them yourself so they're not exposed to this identity politics porn that's floating about. But we're talking about porn on social media and how that's damaging to children. So let us continue. The real story behind it is that some companies are making an awful lot of reports, and some companies are not making a lot of reports, said Coffrin. I'm pretty sure Facebook is probably fudging the numbers, probably Twitter too, because let's be honest, they probably have porn run rampant on their sites while they quote-unquote censor conservatives who speak out against pornography and all this other stuff, and like this other weird like sex changes and all this other pornographic stuff. It's just nuts. Facebook released a statement after doing their own analysis, sharing findings that 90% of this content was the same as or visually similar to previous reported content. Now, you know, like, if people are reporting it, you think Facebook will have to do something, but now it probably goes against their, like, political narrative, if you think about it, because most of these woke people, they're probably porn addicts. They spend all their day on Twitter or Facebook just sending out tweets and images and all this other crap, so it's not a surprise. Pornhub, which had over 13,000 incidents, said that the number includes several thousand duplicates. Coffin says the same images may be shared repeatedly, creating multiple reports and re-victimizing children. You know, like, pornography should just be outlawed altogether so people don't suffer from this. Like, yes. Like, people are messed up in the head. Like, yes, sometimes seeing a nude image can be art, but at the same time, like, if it's like focusing on sexualizing something just for the like general consensus of the sex me mentality, then that's porn. But I digress. We live in an era where idiots will basically try to cancel people like me for having an opinion, and I'm pretty sure that I might be the first one doing this video, since I haven't seen anything from the Quartering or the other channels that I follow on YouTube and stuff like that. So yeah, I might be the first, but I don't know. But let's continue this article. We have victims who are 20 years past the actual hands-on or contact of use, and they are still suffering as a victim because the imagery is still being distributed, said Coffin. It's the crime that never ends. Well, this wouldn't be an issue if people were actually taught how to respect one another. Like just taught civics in the Bible in schools, but the only way you're going to have the Bible in the public education system is if they have, like, basically general theology classes for elementary students, and then have different classes based on various faiths as electives in either high school or middle school. Because I believe that people should have a choice. However, this is crazy, so yeah, and let's continue this. Lewis says he isn't planning to take his kids off of social media, but realizes that talking to them about pornographic imagery isn't enough. Yes. Like he needs to monitor what his kids are seeing online as a whole and what they're learning in school, because if he's concerned about social media, he should be concerned about what they're learning in their school as well, because if they're like being exposed to porn on social media, they've probably already been exposed via the public education system because of wokeness, which basically glorifies porn. Like, I can't reiterate it enough. Woke people are porn addicts who basically want to make more porn addicts who think and act exactly like they do, which is cringy and a real threat to society. as a parent, I make a point of it to put certain restraints on my kids' phones. There's parental blocks on everything, said Lewis. Yes. Like I said, block what your kids have exposure to online, but I would also do the same thing for who they interact with in real life, and especially what they're learning in the classroom too, because the reason why this is a problem has to do with the classroom. That's my honest opinion, is that these kids, like, if they're woke, then they've obviously been indoctrinated by, like, identity politics porn, which is prevalent in our country. Well, that's it for the article, folks. And if you've watched this video and decide to check out this website, which I got off of Gab from this post right here, you can click on the link that will be in the description. Watch this video if you want to. I'm not gonna play it here because I'm a small channel on BitChute, YouTube, Rumble, and Odyssey, and I don't want any copyrights against me, so check out this video that's in this article or read the article for yourself and make your own opinion. Other than that, please like, share, subscribe, comment, and rumble my videos if you liked it, and be sure to tune in to the other videos that I'm going to post this week as part of spring break, since I'm not in trade school at the moment. So thank you for watching, and be sure to tune in later. Goodbye and God bless.